Wagwan, Ypre, we are deal with up top blessings. We are back again with another one. Yesterday, West Ham away, Manchester City pulled up in London and we left with 3 points. So we still maintain our perfect start to the season. But just before we get into the conversation, um, there is a comment here from Jessica MCFC. Big up to you. Thank you so much for being here, and I do appreciate your comment. And I hope you're doing good. Let me know your thoughts in the game while I go ahead and get into the meat of the matter. So I was expecting a tough game from West Ham. I think it came out to be like that. I think we had to earn our 3 points yesterday, and I don't think anyone can really complain about the outcome of the game from either side. I think West Ham fans would have been content with what they saw from their team. Obviously, they would have hoped they got something better points wise, maybe a draw. They would have definitely taken that. But I think we earned our win on the day. I think we definitely turned up. Some players to definitely talk about, but we'll definitely get there. My prediction was 2-1 for the game. It ended up 3-1. I'll definitely take a wrong in that sense. It's a positive wrong. No problem with that. Um, as usual, we dominated the possession. We took the game to them. David Moyes upon him part the bus thing, and we were turning the screw throughout the first half. Jeremy Doku in particular, very very impressed with what I saw from him. He was very electric. He was trying to make things happen every time the ball got to him. There was a lot of confidence I was seeing from him. Like he definitely took the task of attacking Vladimir Sufal to heart, and yeah, he went at it, and I love to see it. He kind of reminds me of Sterling, but he also kind of reminds me of Sane in another way. Sane, for me, was a bit more exciting to watch than Sterling, but I feel like Doku is similar to a player like Sterling, from my perspective anyway. Let me know what you guys think, but I was very happy with what I saw from Jeremy Doku for the majority of the match, or for the majority of the time that he played. That goal that he scored, mad goal, bad piece of goal, and it's very similar to the goal that I mentioned a few videos back. I was speaking about Demarai Gray playing for Jamaica. Very similar goal down that left hand side, and he curled it around the keeper while he had all those players around him. I took a lot of skill from him. But I definitely like how Jeremy Doku has started so far. MCFR TV in the chat as well. Big up my guy. He says, hi, clinical. Big up to you, bro. And Jessica MCFC says, I thought Doku was, wow, he owned up to his mistakes as well. So that mistake that he had for the goal, right? And I do think that was him turning over possession, but I don't think we should have conceded from that goal either, because that happened in the final third. I think after that we had a chance to defend it and we did that poorly. I think Akanji mainly is the one I'm looking at, saying he went over to Ruben Diaz and helped him out with Antonio. I think he probably should have stayed closer to the center and covered for Bernardo Silva, who Ward-Prowse got away from. But I'm not trying to pick on Akanji in this case. I think he went on to have a good game. But in that moment, I don't think any one of us, any one of the defenders in that back line really defended that play well, aside from Ruben Diaz doing his job. But nevertheless, Doku more than made up for it with his performance in the game. That one mistake wasn't anything that he held his head down with. It didn't hit his confidence. He was still in there and going. So I like that kind of mentality from him. And MCFR agrees with Jessica as well. Big up to Elijah Larson. Been a while since we see her here, but Wagwan, same way. And he says, Doku is amazing. 100%, bro. 100%. I'm so glad we have a player like him again. Very exciting player. And I hope there's definitely more to come. I like the start. He definitely needs to keep it going. Even Pep Guardiola in his post-match interview said that he did not expect Doku would come in and start at the level that he has right now. So that's very good for Doku. He's definitely gaining the manager's favor early. And he's effective on both sides. I think he'll definitely get a lot of opportunities to stake a claim in the team. And Jessica says he scored like a baller. Mm-hmm. And I personally still think he's better on the right hand side. So just imagine if he's doing that off the left, just imagine when he plays his more preferred right hand side. So let's see. Let's see what the future holds for Jeremy Doku. But back to the match. The midfield battle for me was very interesting. More so when West Ham had the ball. When we had the ball, they weren't really pressing us as much. Like I said before, David Moyes was on his part the bus. Don't let anybody through. Compact midfield area. Force them to break us down. Let them get frustrated. Hit them on the break, kind of thing. But when they got the ball, I feel like it wasn't even just quick counter attacks. They were actually moving the ball really well in the areas. I think in the first half there was a lot of play going on the right hand side. There was and Bowen, I don't remember, Jared Bowen, yeah. Jared Bowen was dropping in from that right hand side inside the midfield, linking up with James Ward-Prowse, linking up with Sufal as well, and that's how they got their goal eventually, and a couple of other good opportunities leading up to that. We had obviously our chances in the first half as well. We can look at Haaland, who really should have. I think both times he was found at the back post was in the first half. I don't think one of them happened in the second half. But regardless, man, at least one of them should have gotten put away. I think Ariola also had a really good game because if you guys remember, there was a point where we had a corner. I think it was Phil Foden that took it, and there were three attempts at goal in that, or four attempts at goal in that particular play. Ariola made a triple save, and there was a goal line clearance from Suchek. So there was a lot of end-to-end play and goal action throughout the game, not even just in the first half. And I think even though the scoreline was 3-1, Ariola definitely had a good game. He had a lot of work to do, and I think he really did come up with some great performances yesterday. In the second half, I think we stepped it up a notch. Pep must have said exactly what needed to be said because from what could have been a steady performance, methodical performance in the first half, we're kind of looking where is the best position to attack from. Most of the time it was Doku, and he was getting a little bit of change out of Sufal. That's how we created a couple of our opportunities. But in that second half, it's like all of the players just rose to the occasion, and I think the team in general just took it up a notch. Alvarez started to grow into the game a little bit. He had a free kick. I'm not sure how far out it was, but it was a decent distance out, and he hit it off the post. I think that was a bit unfortunate for him because if he scored that, that would have been a mad free kick. Trust me, I didn't even know he had that to his game. So big up to Julian Alvarez as well. He had quite the second half for himself. Um, Rodri doing Rodri things in the midfield. I mentioned in the preview that he'd be a crucial player for us to get something in that game. I think in the midfield battle, he was absolutely amazing. We were winning the ball back a lot of times from West Ham. Other times, they got their opportunities, but that wasn't down to us not doing our job. That was down to West Ham also having quality players on the pitch. But I think Rodri had, again, an amazing game. But, this is standard for Rodri. This is what we expect from him, and it's really good that he's delivering that. But he intercepted the ball at one point in the second half, drove forward, and he clipped the ball into Haaland, who made a very acrobatic effort on it. But again, it was saved by Ariola. I felt like I was saying that so much during the actual match as well. Saved by Ariola, saved by Ariola. I should have checked how many saves he has. Somebody, if you guys do know how many saves he made in the game, let me know. But he had a really good performance, but I have to give it to him. And funny enough, Alvarez made a similar chip inside the box towards Bernardo Silva for what became our second goal as well. So I found it funny how Rodri did it, and then shortly after, Alvarez came up with the same idea, and it worked. It came off. I don't think the West Ham defense expected it either times, and we found some success with that. But just like how we had our chances in the first half, I think West Ham had good chances in the second half as well. There was Paqueta playing through Antonio on the break. Ederson had to come out and claim that. I think what happened was Antonio got the ball. He was wrestling Ruben Diaz for it. And to get away from Diaz, he had to kind of hit it with a little bit more pace so he could break away from him. that was exactly enough for Ederson to come out and claim the ball. So good communication and teamwork there from Ruben Diaz and Ederson to set that up and snuff out the attack. But yeah, West Ham had their fair share of chances as well throughout the game. I don't feel like at any point they were not in the game, if that makes sense. Even though we were creating opportunities, they were keeping us out, mainly due to Areola, but he was the one keeping them in the game. And there was a point they could have gone 2-1 up. I think it was with that Antonio chance. And if that had happened, that could have been a completely different match. But our defense was also on job. We were patterned on the day. And we were the one to find that 2-1 breakthrough. We eventually could get it on to 3-1. I think in the second half, even though West Ham created really good chances, we defended equally really well. And that's how we could leave the second half without conceding another goal. But just a bit more of the chances that we had, as I do want to talk a little bit about them. I'll get to the comments first, though, because I see some comments coming in. And Jessica MCFC says, you can tell Pep is back after yesterday's performance. Yeah. And I think it was similar with Fulham, because I like the second half performance against Fulham, even though Pep wasn't there. But it might have been after that decision with Ake's goal that the Fulham players' heads have dropped. In this game yesterday, we were down 1-0 in the first half. Going into the second half, we were looking at, we need to fight and claw this back if we want the points. So the fight that we came out with in the second half was definitely, no doubt, down to whatever happened. I don't even want to just put it down to what Pep said, because it could have been one of the leaders in the team stepping up in the dressing room and saying what needed to be said as well. But yeah, it definitely it does give you the vibe that Pep influence is there. And again, MCFR agrees. Elijah Lawson says Julian Alvarez had a very good game with 2 assists. I think he was very quiet in the first half, but again, in that second half, rose to the occasion, and that's what I like to see from him. I like when he's on the ball in those areas close to the goal. I don't necessarily like when he's super deep into the midfield, because I feel like his talents could be better made use of further out the pitch. But as long as he's performing like he is right now, I really don't care where you play him. More of those second half performances, Alvarez. And top of the league was said, hey, big up to Raheem Sterling, but he's 14th in the league right now? And Manchester City, right where we deserve to be, first place. I love the perfect record. I hope it definitely continues for as long as possible. But close to the edge of not the edge, close to the end of that second half, you would also see Bernardo Silva in our half. I remember him hitting a pass down the line to Kyle Walker, and it reminded me immediately of David Silva at Old Trafford in 2012 when we beat them at 6-1. It kind of reminded me of that pass that David Silva played to Dzeko, I believe, because he just had it in the air and he just clapped it forward down the line. Walker, I don't think if anybody else was there, maybe Haaland would have gotten it, but I don't think anybody else but Kyle Walker on the pitch, or Doku, of course, would have gotten to that ball. And he got there, gave him a really good cross to Haaland, and I think Haaland made good connection on it as well. But you know what happened? Saved by Areola. And I can't even blame anybody for how that play is set up and the fact that it didn't go into the back of the net, but because I think Areola did exactly what he needed to do. He came out, he got right in front of Haaland's face, made himself big, and he got something on the ball to keep it out. We won a corner from that. But I don't even think we won a corner from that. I think it went further back into the play again. But yeah, all in all, creative wise, I'm not worried about what I'm seeing based on that last match. We created a lot of chances, and on a different day, it really could have been a scoreline that flattered us very much, given the fight that West Ham had. But we really could have left this game with like 5-6 goals, genuinely. Similarly, West Ham could have had a couple goals in the game as well, and it could have been a completely different result we're talking about. But the game ended 3-1. I'm very happy with it. 5 wins out of 5, 15 points. Some side after 5 games stuck on 5 points, 6 points. But we're here blessed with 15 points out of 15. Great start to the season. Performances are looking good. Yes, we have a lot of injuries right now, but the situation is looking a lot better in terms of on the pitch. It doesn't seem like we're hampered to the point where we can't give out good performances capable of winning games like this. And next up, we have Red Star Belgrade in the Champions League. So I think we'll see a bit of a rotated lineup for that one. See other players who haven't really gotten as much game time as yet to come in. And we have Nottingham Forest again. I think we can see a little bit of game time being offered to players in that game as well. And then Wolves away, very serious game. We know our record there isn't the best, so we need to make sure that everything is lined up. Hopefully, we have a lot of players back by then. I'm looking to see Jack Grealish come back. Hopefully, John Stones is back by then, and Kovacic should be back by Nottingham Forest, I believe. So hopefully, he gets some minutes in that game as well. So yeah, that's pretty much all I had. That is the West Ham review. I will be live again tomorrow. I'm looking at the same time, 8 p.m. UK time, 3 p.m. my time here on the East Coast in the US. So yeah, Red Star Belgrade preview. I'm going to do some research. We can definitely have that conversation and we can talk lineups. I don't want to do another predicted lineup because I don't even I can't even imagine what Pep is cooking for that lineup, who could potentially get game time from who we might want to rotate. People might be playing out of position, but let's see what Pep is cooking for Tuesday. Let's discuss that tomorrow. We can definitely speak about players who should be getting rested or who could be coming in for an opportunity for us to see a bit more of. I like that I saw from Matheus Nunes yesterday. I think that his movement was really good, but there's a lot more that I do want to see from him. I don't have anything bad to say right now. Not that I'm looking for anything bad to say about him either, but I do want to see a lot more of him before I actually give a more structured judgment on him. But right now, not bad, not a bad debut, and hopefully he gets game time again against Red Star in the Champions League and later on in the month as well, because he'll definitely be needed. But yeah, that's pretty much all I got. See you guys again tomorrow. Hope you guys are here. For those watching back on the replay, let me know what you guys thought of the game. Let me know if you guys thought it was a fair result, 3-1, because I know West Ham had their chances. We could have also had more goals. And let me know what you guys. Some people also got a prediction, right? Let me know if you were one of those people. And, we can continue this conversation about Red Star tomorrow. Until next time, my side, peace. Take care, everybody. And I will see you guys.